Hello. We are using the Ingenuity. At first, she wasn't that keen, not gonna lie to you. However, now she is quite keen on this and it will send her to sleep. Before, she had to be on me to fall asleep or on the boob to fall asleep, but now she's started to be okay falling asleep on her own. Guess this is the first step in self-soothing. And also another thing that I've noticed that's different this week is that she's not really keen on the dummy, but she will tolerate the dummy. This is the dummy that I've been giving her. I showed you it the other week. So that's the dummy that I've been giving her. She's not been, well, she hasn't hated it, but she does spit it out when she, I don't know, she has these kind of fits where she's just fussy. And sometimes the dummy works, it's like 50-50, and sometimes it doesn't. And what I've noticed when it's not working is that she now will sometimes put her fist like near her mouth and in her mouth. So I think that's her starting to self-soothe, and I wonder whether eventually, because she's not that keen on the dummy, I wonder whether she's going to eventually start sucking her thumb, and that's going to give her the soothing that she needs rather than from the dummy. The chair is actually really good, and this brand is not too expensive, so that's why I kind of went for it, because I'm a bit scared. Mamaroos, they're sort of 200 odd pounds, and the thing that I've noticed is with a newborn, you just don't know if they're going to like it until you buy it and you try it. So yeah, you end up having things that you've bought and used once to see if she likes it, and then she doesn't like it, and then you're left with it. And it's, you know, children's things aren't typically cheap, so sometimes that stuff is really expensive. And so I don't know, I just felt like I didn't want to spend 200 odd pounds on a bouncer in case it didn't work and then just be stuck with it. And it's the same with the snoo pod. In America there's this snoo, which is, it sounds amazing because it basically gently rocks the baby, and it also comes with attachments for a swaddle. So you basically swaddle your baby with the attachments they give you into the snoo, and it gently rocks the baby to sleep. And I think it does make noise as well. So, and I have some friends in America who swear by it, saying it's the best thing ever, but it's so expensive. I think in England you can get it from the Happy Baby Company, and I think it's around £850. And you can only use it for the first 6 months of their life. It comes with 3 different, swaddles. It comes with 3 different sizes of swaddles, and you use it for the first 6 months of their life. But then after that, they outgrow it, and so then you're just sort of left with it. And in America, you can rent them, which is obviously a great thing because you're not going to use it after 6 months anyway. And I suppose the only time that perhaps you might decide to buy one is if you are going to have more than one child, and so you would buy it as an investment knowing that for the next one you've already got it. But if you weren't sure or you didn't know if it was going to work, you could rent it for, I don't know, say a week or 2 and try it out, and if it works then you might buy it. But over here you can only buy it, and I'm just a bit apprehensive because that's a lot of money, and if it didn't work then it's a waste of money, and then what are you going to do with an £800 crib? But she's actually sleeping quite well, so not quite well, but you know, as expected for someone who is 5 weeks old. But what did I want to talk to you about today? Oh yeah, okay, so I wanted to talk to you about a few things. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is I wanted to explain with these. There's so many different companies out there, all basically offering the same thing. So I didn't realize this, but one of my sort of tips and tricks for babies that really are quite clingy to mummy is using one of these. Now, this was actually a gift. My friend Jessica got me this. Well, got Indie Rose this, and she actually had it, I don't know if you can see, but she had it, what's it called? So I have such mummy brain because I did not sleep very well last night, embossed with her name. So when I got this, I didn't actually know what it was really for. I thought it was kind of just a toy. However, when I've been looking at other profiles, other mummy profiles and baby profiles, and there's a lot of people selling these and sort of saying that they are to pick up mummy's scent. Basically, I wanted to say you don't need anything fancy necessarily for this, but so what they suggest to do to pick up mummy's scent is I stuff it down my top like this, so the bunny sticks out. and I do this for about a day so that it got my scent on it. And this is really good for premature babies too. If you've got a prem baby, then this really makes the baby feel like you're there next to them when you're not. And so what you do is you just wear it down your top for a day, and then it gets the scent on you. And then you pop it in their either bassinet or crib, or if they're in hospital, obviously you put it near them in hospital so they can smell you, and it reassures them. And that's really important, I think, when they are young, because that's why they're getting upset, crying when you're putting them down in their crib, because they miss you and they want to be close to you and they're used to being near to you. So if you have one of these, this is the Jellycat one, that's what you need to do. Just pop it down your top, or have it on you wherever. You could sleep with it for a night or something, get the scent on you, and then put it in their cot. And I promise you this makes it a lot better. And actually, the funny thing I found is that sometimes Indy Rose starts sucking on it as if, like she's looking for my boob, because she thinks, because it smells like me, she thinks that there's a boob here. So she'll start like smelling around for it. So yeah, basically to sum it up, you don't need an expensive one. You don't need, to have a specific one that just does this, because they're all designed to do the same thing. And that's where I kind of got confused. And I was totally getting sucked into, I'll purchase this one because another brand, because this is specifically what it's for, because that's what it's advertised at. But essentially, this is what they're supposed to do. Okay, so I also wanted to talk about the Hacker. So I have the LV pump, and I also have this. And I use this more than I use the LV pump, because this is so much easier. You just have it out, and literally after you've swapped her from one boob to the other, you then use this. Basically all you have to do is squeeze it like this, and then you pop it on your boob, and essentially it just collects the leftover milk. So I can get about 2 ounces from each boob after she's fed, sometimes even more actually. And yeah, that's a good amount. And then you just pop it in the fridge, bag it up, or put it in the freezer. I wanted to give you another tip. If you are going to breastfeed and express, then it's really important to introduce her to the express milk in a bottle quickly, because what I'm finding is with Indy Rose, because I've breastfed exclusively for 5 weeks now, when I tried to give her the teat, the bottle teat with the expressed milk in, although she knew that she could smell that it was breast milk, and so she was trying to drink it, but she was definitely confused and thinking, what the hell? This isn't the process that normally happens. What's this new thing? So I do think that if you're going to do it, make sure you introduce it, I would say, within the first 4 weeks of her life, or baby's life, could be girl or boy, to baby's life, so that they kind of are able to figure out what's going on and get used to that. Because I think I was trying to, so the reason that I even was thinking about expressing and using bottles is because I was thinking, if I'm out and about, or if I have people over that I'm not comfortable breastfeeding in front of, or perhaps they are family and I am comfortable, but they might want to give her a feed, then I wanted them to be able to do that with perhaps using expressed milk. But it really wasn't as easy to introduce her to the bottle this late on in the game, and she wasn't really having any of it. And I have got different bottles that I'm going to try with, but I do feel, and I've read online that it is because I might have left it too late. So I would definitely recommend, if you are going to breastfeed and express, then make sure you introduce to your baby the bottle with the express milk sooner rather than later, so that they don't get confused and so that they get used to it and will take it. I've kind of maybe shot myself in the foot a little bit with that one, so I don't want you to make the same mistake. Yeah. Also, I wanted to say to you that when I first got the Sleepyhead, I admit that she really didn't like it, and I thought, God, what a waste of money. She really hates this Sleepyhead, and I think it's over £100. So, again, it's one of those products that I thought, great, she's now not going to use this, and it's going to be sitting in the cupboard, and waste of money. However, I just wanted to say that I think they're really worth sticking it out with, because I definitely think it's something to do with her size, and I definitely think that the bigger she has gotten, the more comfortable and filling out the space on the Sleepyhead, because when you first bring them home, they are literally absolutely tiny, and this Sleepyhead still feels quite ginormous compared to how little they are. And the whole premise of the Sleepyhead is that it cocoons them and makes them feel safe. However, I just wanted to say that when you first bring them home, I don't think for the first month really with Indy Rose, actually no, it was more like 3.5 weeks. For the first 3.5 weeks she was really not liking it, and it was just because she was so little. So if you have bought a Sleepyhead and you've taken your baby home and she's not, or him or her is not liking it, I just want to say that it's really worth sticking it out, because it's one of those products that comes in handy later on. And only at about 4 weeks did she start really liking it, to the point where it's really the only thing that she will sleep in now, or nap in. So I even put it in her crib, because the crib is having the same problem. Like her cot, I have the snooze pod. It's so big, and although it's a plus that you can pull down the side and have it as a next to me so she can see you, I also feel like it's a bad thing at the same time, because it's so spacious then. She doesn't feel that safe and snug feeling. It's almost like it's too big, and so that's a bit more scary. And so what I'm doing now to make her like it more is I'm putting her in the snooze pod in the crib, and now I fall asleep next to her and she falls asleep, and she's actually taken to it. So because I know at first you're sort of tearing your hair out with how to get them to go to bed, and I'm not gonna lie, the first four weeks are really, really hard, but particularly the first, I think, 2 to 3 weeks, because they really just want to be with you, and they are going to scream and they are going to cry if you try and put them somewhere else. But so I just want to say, stick with the Sleepyhead. A lot of my NCT mummies have said the same thing. They actually start liking their Sleepyhead, and now we're all swear-buying, like we're all saying that our babies are sleeping much better now they've got the Sleepyhead, and it's a bit of a lifesaver. So yeah, hold out. I promise when they're a little bit bigger that they'll probably like it and they will sleep in it and they will use it. So don't worry, it's not one of those purchases that you will later on regret. I want you to see her because she's still sleeping here. Look, she's so cute. I hope you have a good day, and I'll be back soon with more videos. I hope you have a good day, and I'll be back soon.